You're listening to From Stillness, an audiobook for a mind in need of quiet. You ever finish your day and just feel done? Not the kind of tired a nap can fix, the kind of tired that lives in your bones. Like your brain's been unplugged, your emotions wrung out, your body on autopilot. You come home, but instead of feeling relief, you just collapse. Maybe you scroll your phone, maybe you sit in silence, maybe you promise yourself you'll do something, anything, productive. But then it's bedtime. And somehow, you've done nothing for yourself. That feeling isn't laziness. It's not lack of discipline. It's something deeper, a kind of quiet depletion. The kind that sleep alone can't fix. I know it well because for the longest time, that was my every evening. No matter how much I rested, I still felt empty. Like I was running on low battery mode. Permanently. But then I realized the problem wasn't how hard I worked. It was how little I recovered. I didn't need more hours in the day. I needed better habits than the ones I already had, especially after work. Because those hours, they don't just fill the space between now and tomorrow. They're the only part of your day that belongs entirely to you. That's when everything started to shift. I stopped trying to push through the exhaustion and started learning how to recharge on purpose. Not through escape, but through small, powerful changes that made me feel like a real person again. If you're feeling drained all the time, not just tired, but disconnected from yourself, stay with me. Because the next few steps might just bring you back to life. There's something strange you realize when your commute disappears. For years, I hated it, the traffic, the noise, the wasted time. But once it was gone, I noticed something missing. That in-between space, as annoying as it was, gave my brain time to shift gears. It was a boundary, a mental off-ramp from work mode to life mode. And without it, something felt stuck. Work would end, but my brain didn't. I'd close the laptop, walk a few steps, and suddenly I was on the couch still thinking about emails, deadlines, unfinished tasks. No reset. Just a messy blur from one mode to the next. So I did something ridiculous. I started faking a commute. At the end of the workday, I put on my shoes, stepped outside, and walked. Just 10 minutes. No phone, no podcast, no multitasking. Just movement, breath, and a bit of fresh air. At first, it felt silly, like I was role-playing an office worker in a simulation. But then, something shifted. My mind began to let go. The noise of the day started to fade. That short walk gave me exactly what I didn't know I needed. A transition. It wasn't about the exercise. It was about the message telling my brain, we're done now. That work stays there, and life starts here. I stopped arriving in my evenings mentally cluttered and emotionally hijacked. I started arriving as a person again, not just a tired worker. Try it. Take a 10-minute walk after work. Don't overthink it. Just let yourself arrive in your own life. Because sometimes, the smallest ritual creates the clearest boundary. And once you cross that line, you get your time and yourself back. The couch is a trap. Not in a dangerous way, in a deceptively innocent way. You come home tired and you tell yourself, I'll just sit down for a second. But that second becomes an hour, then 2. Then suddenly the sun is gone. Your dinner's still in the microwave, and you've somehow memorized the entire YouTube algorithm for raccoon heist videos. I know that cycle. I lived it daily. I'd come home from work, crash onto the couch, and convince myself I was just resting. But what I was really doing was disappearing, fading into autopilot mode, where time slips through your fingers without you even noticing. So I made one rule. Simple, but powerful. Before I touch the couch, I have to do one thing that reminds me I'm a person, not just a worker trying to recover. It doesn't have to be big. Sometimes I stretch for 5 minutes. Sometimes I play a song and dance around the kitchen like a sleep-deprived flamingo. Sometimes I cook something, anything, that didn't come from a cardboard box. That one action breaks the spell. It creates momentum. It tells my body, you still have energy left for yourself. And what surprised me most? Once I did that one thing, I actually enjoyed sitting down more. It became intentional rest, not accidental collapse. So if your evenings are vanishing into a black hole of fatigue and scrolling, don't start with a total lifestyle change. Just make a deal with yourself. One small action before the couch. One reminder that you still exist after the workday ends. And sometimes, that's all it takes to bring the evening back to life. There's something about music. It's not just background noise, it's chemistry. A single song can lift you, ground you, wake you up or slow you down. And for me, it became one of the simplest, most powerful ways to reclaim my evenings. After work, I used to sit in silence or turn on whatever show happened to autoplay. But my mind stayed stuck in the same loop, problem-solving, overthinking, reliving conversations. I wasn't transitioning. I was just pausing the stress, not replacing it. So I created something small, an after-work me playlist. Nothing fancy, just songs that felt like not working. It starts slow, gentle, a bit melancholic even, like letting out a long exhale after a day of pretending everything's fine. Then it builds. Tracks with rhythm. Songs that make me want to move, even just a little. And yes, I dance. Awkwardly. Alone. In socks. But in that movement, something shifts. I stop being the person who answered 20 emails. I become the version of me who smiles for no reason. The one who remembers that life doesn't need to be productive to feel meaningful. And the science backs it up. Movement, rhythm, music, they regulate your nervous system. They pull you out of fight or flight mode and into something softer, something real. So try it. Build a playlist that feels like you after the noise dies down. Play it every evening. Let it become your signal, your soundtrack. Your way of saying, the rest of the day belongs to me now. For the longest time, work got the very best of me. My sharpest focus, my calmest attitude, my clearest thinking. I gave it everything, not because I loved spreadsheets or lived for meetings, but because I thought that's just what responsible people do. You pour yourself out from 9 to 5, then collapse, empty, hoping the weekend will save you. But one evening, I caught myself staring blankly at a book I wanted to read, realizing I had no energy left to enjoy it. Not even a page. And I asked myself a hard question: why am I giving the best parts of myself to something that would replace me in 2 weeks if I left? That question changed everything. It didn't mean I stopped doing my job well. I still care, I still show up. But I stopped letting it consume all of me. I let emails wait until morning. I stopped treating every small mistake like a crisis. I reminded myself, I'm allowed to be human, not a perfectly efficient productivity machine. And the shift was powerful. Suddenly, I had energy left after work. Not just for chores, but for joy. For music, for cooking, for sitting with someone I love and actually being present. Work can have your effort. But you, your spark, your peace, your sense of aliveness, that belongs to you. Reclaim it. Because life isn't what happens on weekends. It's what you do with the energy you save for yourself, every single evening. Sometimes, the real reason we're exhausted isn't just work. It's the weight of everything we said yes to when we actually meant no. A favor we didn't have time for. A plan we didn't have energy for. An extra task that wasn't even ours to begin with. And we do it because we don't want to seem rude, selfish, or like we're letting someone down. I used to say yes to everything. Even when my body said no. Even when my mind begged for rest. And the result? Evenings that felt stolen. Time that didn't feel like mine. Energy stretched so thin, I'd come home with nothing left to give, not even to myself. So I tried something simple. I practiced saying no, gently, clearly, without guilt. Not excuses, not over-explaining. Just something like, that sounds great, but I'm keeping this evening for myself. Let's find another time. And you know what happened? Nothing. No dramatic fallout. No ruined friendships. Most people just nodded and said, totally get it, let me know when. It turns out, setting boundaries doesn't make you a villain. It makes you someone who values their own well-being. And when you protect your time, you start to breathe again. You start to feel like your life has space in it, for rest, for joy, for you. So the next time your calendar is already full or your heart already heavy, say no. Say it kindly. Say it without guilt. And then use that time to come home, not just to your house, but to yourself. For a long time, I believed that lying on the couch scrolling my phone was rest. I wasn't working, I wasn't moving. So surely I was recharging, right? But night after night, I'd look up from the screen, more tired than before, mentally foggy, emotionally dull, physically restless. That's when I realized doom scrolling isn't rest, it's distraction dressed as recovery. Swapping work stress for a flood of notifications, headlines, and highlight reels isn't giving your brain a break. It's just trading one kind of noise for another. And it's no wonder we stay exhausted, we never actually switch off. So I started doing something different. I replaced those hours of passive input with moments of quiet, intentional stillness. Sometimes it's 5 minutes of journaling. Sometimes it's a few pages of a book. Sometimes it's lying on the floor with music playing and no goal except to just be. At first, it felt strange, like I was wasting time, like I should be doing more. But slowly, I noticed something shift. My mind stopped racing. My breath slowed. I felt rested, truly rested, in a way scrolling never gave me. We don't need more time off. We need better ways to switch off. So next time you find yourself reaching for your phone out of habit, pause. Ask yourself, is this rest or is this escape? Then choose something that actually restores you. Because real rest isn't about doing nothing. It's about doing something that gives you yourself back. There was a time when my evenings felt like a holding pattern, just empty space between work and sleep. I'd come home, eat something without really tasting it, scroll until my eyes ached, maybe put on a show I wasn't even watching. Then suddenly, it was midnight. Another day gone. And I hadn't actually lived any of it. What was missing wasn't time. It was something to look forward to. A spark. A moment. A reason to feel like the day wasn't just another box ticked off the calendar. So I started giving myself one small thing each evening, something just for me. Sometimes it was trying a new recipe, even if it turned out weird. Sometimes it was picking up a hobby I was terrible at but enjoyed anyway. Sometimes it was a funny show, a walk under the streetlights, or just sitting down with a snack I really liked and letting myself enjoy it fully. The point wasn't productivity, it was presence, pleasure, play, because when you have even one thing, no matter how small, that makes you smile just thinking about it, the whole evening changes. It's no longer just a countdown to tomorrow. It becomes part of a life you actually want to be awake for. So ask yourself, what would I be excited to come home to? Then make space for it. Protect it. Let it become a tiny anchor of joy in your day. Because you don't need a perfect evening. You just need one real moment that feels like yours. Most of us were never taught how to truly rest. We were taught how to be efficient, productive, available, reliable, but no one ever showed us how to come home to ourselves at the end of the day. That's why we mistake collapse for rest, numbness for recovery, scrolling for self-care. But what if your evening didn't have to be something you survive until sleep? What if it could become the most human part of your day, the part where you reconnect with joy, with calm, with yourself? The truth is, rest isn't just the absence of activity. It's the presence of intention. A walk that signals, I'm off the clock. A song that lifts you. A simple boundary that gives your energy back. A snack you actually enjoy. A no, said with kindness. A moment of stillness without guilt. You don't need a perfect routine. You don't need more time. You just need small, honest rituals that remind you, this part of the day belongs to me. So tonight, start small. Skip the scroll. Light a candle. Make a cup of tea. Say no to one thing. Say yes to something tiny but real. These are the quiet choices that, over time, rebuild your evenings and restore the part of you that work never gets to touch. Because your life isn't just what happens between 9 and 5. It's what you do when no one's asking anything of you, except to be yourself again.